I don't know at what point either of my children would have been able to get onto the property ladder had this option not been available to us. Having this option has changed his life. I think he was renting for about 4 years. He has kind of drifted around a little bit. In between time, he had periods at home as well. So it felt like he was never really very settled anywhere. I think the quality of renting in London specifically is really poor. It's very expensive, and I do feel in general with the landlords that Liam had experienced that they weren't very responsive to when things went wrong. You were always thinking, well, how long is he going to be here? What sort of problems is he going to have? I think we went through a period where we'd moved him in and out of properties about 3 or 4 times, and you know, it's very stressful for him to have to keep packing up all of his stuff and moving home or then finding another property. And we wanted him to be settled. I think a lot of young people just are renting because they can't afford to get on the property ladder. And it's very sad because I know that they want to, and I know a lot of the time it's not the repayments that are an issue for the mortgage, it's coming up with the deposit. You need such a big deposit to get started. That's where they really struggle. And unfortunately, they get stuck in a loop where you move into rented accommodation, you pay an enormous amount in rent, and then you can't afford to save. With the income boost option, I think if Liam was buying, his affordability was about 160,000, but with us as income boosters, it went up to 400,000, which was fantastic because anybody that lives in London will know that you can't buy a property for 160,000 unless it's falling down. The deposit was going to be quite a lot of money, and Liam had deposit money, but he didn't quite have everything. So it was really important for us to be able to support him with that deposit. We used a deposit boost, which enabled us to release money from our existing property, which we had no mortgage on, to be able to help Liam with the additional deposit that he needed on this flat. Someone of my age and my husband's age, you know, we're only ever going to downsize. So for us, it would be an easy thing to do when we downsize to just pay off that remaining mortgage, which is tiny. And it was just our way of being able to help Liam, and eventually we'll do it again to help our other sons. So it just allowed us to be a silent guarantor. So if anything went wrong, we could step in, but Liam's self-sufficient, able to pay the mortgage all by himself, and yeah, it works really well. Well, I initially heard about this mortgage type from a colleague at work. Really liked the sound of it. I did a little bit of research and I Googled, and every time I Googled, Tembo were the top. So I really took a lot of time to look at the reviews and, you know, the testimonials, and, you know, it really looked like an attractive proposition, and I almost felt it was too good to be true. Our experience with Tembo has been fantastic. It's been so easy, almost too easy. You know, you just kept thinking, well, there must be something more to this. There must be more paperwork coming. There must be more hurdles to overcome, but there wasn't. I found Tembo very patient, supportive and flexible. I would say my advice to other parents is do it if you can. Our children in their generation, they need the money now, not when we're dead. So for us, it's really important to be able to help them on this journey.